Sense. All right, so cool. So last question I have for you, and I'm really excited to hear what you have to say on this. I ask every guest this question at the end. So I guess for you specifically in the media buying world, what is a trend that is new that people could get value from? People who are in the digital marketing world, maybe an e-commerce operator. What is something that's happening that's now that maybe they haven't heard of that you could teach and that people could get value from?
Yeah, I would say, I mean, the biggest, newest disruptive things, if I was to look at it like that, is kind of looking at digital marketing as though it was everything else we've ever done in advertising. Honestly, it's treating the new stuff like old stuff. And what I mean by that is there used to be a time with a cash grab of throwing everything at the machine and just taking money out. Like you can't just stroll by and hit an ATM machine with a baseball bat anymore. It just doesn't work like that. So oddly enough, the newest, sexiest, most successful thing to do is build really simple, well-founded businesses. And I think the hardest thing to do is accept that chasing the new shiny object is actually a liability to your success. Whereas I think 3 years ago, 5 years ago, in 2016, 2017, every shiny object was $1 million if you smashed it overnight. And I think that has gone away. And while there's a lot of new exciting things, what I would urge everybody, especially starting out and especially trying to really make an impact, is let everybody else go and waste their money and die out in the wilderness to chop down the trails that we can then follow and just make cash with. So that is one of the big things. And like, whether it's affiliate marketing, right? And different tools or paid media or email or whatever, there's always going to be fun new ideas. But the cash grab of missing out, I think the upside is far outweighed by the long-term benefits of just running a good business. The easiest hack to making a ton of money is give a damn about your customer and do one thing really well. And I think, honestly, that's so different than 2017 drop shipping, where it was just like, oh, I found a product, I'm going to spend $100,000 and make $1 million, and I'll do that 3 times a year, which was bonkers and amazing. But you just can't do that anymore. And so while that sounds boring, while that sounds old school, it's kind of like circled back around to cool, because I know a lot of people chasing the easy dollar that are going broke, and a lot of other people that are just doing something stupid, simple, and well. They're just printing money.
Great. Yeah. So how would you take that concept, which I totally agree with, and apply that to media buying? Like, what's something that a media buyer could be doing wrong that applying that concept would fix?
Yeah, great question. I think one of the biggest things that I see people trying to do is chase trends on what's happening in media buying, because everybody's saying, well, it's working organically, let me try it on ads. And there's always going to be some angle where some person in an out of context way made a lot of money, and that's great. But a good ad will always win. And we see that more and more now that the platforms care more and more about the end user experience. Making stuff that people care about is ultimately going to be way more effective than trying to spend all of your time and energy hacking the machine. So the way to apply that is solve the biggest problems in the most simple way that you can. The way that I do that on Facebook, for instance, is I'll run all my ads. I usually have like one campaign. Like, this is my winning structure right here. I literally have this on a sticky note, right?
Oh, amazing.
So I've got one campaign. These are my best ads. I've got 1 or 2 dynamic creative tests with maybe 3 creatives, 2 headlines, 2 primary texts. And the whole purpose is, if any of these can beat my existing winner on average, and it's not saying I get a new best ad. It's saying, can I find, say I've got 5 ads in my winners. Can I produce one ad that's better than the absolute worst? Then I can improve my average. So thinking about one of the biggest mistakes I see people doing now is they're launching 30, 40, 50 ads a week. And I get it, like that can work, but that's a lot of work. Instead, if you just give the machine a few choices and constantly improve the quality of choices it can make, it will only make better choices over time. And you can spend the rest of your time figuring out everything else. So like for me, that's why it takes me so little time. I do the same type of thing on TikTok, where it's just a I update like one new creative every couple of days in a dynamic, and I'll just let the machine get better and better and better at delivering me an end goal. So what I mean by that ultimately is it's back down to brilliant basics of advertising. Every ad is a burden on the end user, right? Like you don't look off into the sunset and look forward to seeing a billboard, right? You don't watch TV specifically for the commercials. I mean, maybe the Super Bowl, whatever, but like you're not sitting down just stoked to watch broadcast television for the commercials, right? So my point is, nobody logs on to Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or YouTube to see all of your hard work. You're a burden on their experience. So make that as enjoyable as you can. Make that as memorable as you can. And make that something that the platform wants to show to people. And you're going to be a lot better. You know, I mean, there's a reason why the Coca-Cola bears with, you know, at Christmas is always run every year. There's a M&M's commercial that's been running for like 10 years, 20 years, right? Making what people want to see is something that will put you ahead. And so go back to reading stuff from Ogilvy and all these other folks and see just like, these are the best ads ever. How can I replicate that? And you're probably going to be in a really great place. You know, it's funny. And I'll close with this sort of like thesis statement on it. One of the greatest ads of all time was back in the 60s. It was a commercial for the Volkswagen Beetle. And it showed a Beetle. And the text on the ad was 0 to 60. Yes. The ad was white background with a picture of a Beetle chopped out, put into it with big black letters. It was a meme. The exact same thing that we see on memes now. Everything was the exact same. And people still responded to it back 50, 60 years ago. What works always works. So just figure out how to stop being clever and figure out how to just rip off everybody that's already figured it out. There's so much more money in just ripping off really good people. You're only as good as who you steal from. So figuring that out is a way easier way than to try to innovate, because let the people spending $1 million a day figure out the new thing. And I think that's ultimately the biggest advantage people can have. And if I could give anybody anything, it's keep it as simple as possible and just try to get better every week. I know I said that I was going to close on that statement, but I'll make one more. 2% better every week is 3 times better at the end of the year. Just get 2% better every week and your business will grow 3x in year 1, 9x in year 2, 27x in 3 years, right? 3 times better all the time. So you don't need to hit home runs. Just suck a little bit less on a consistent basis. And every now and again, a home run will put you through the roof. Like it's really that easy. Just try your best, keep it simple, and make every effort to suck a little bit less tomorrow. And you're going to be phenomenally ahead of the game.
Keep things simple and copy what worked. From the man himself, Charley.
That's really it.
It's been a pleasure. You dropped a lot of knowledge and I really appreciate it. Yeah, man, it was great having you on, and we will see everybody in the next episode.
I love it, man. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. You're the man. And I'm super excited about talking to you about, you know, at another point in time, how maybe I can take some affiliate stuff and figure out maybe you can capitalize on doing some stupid old things way better than the dinosaurs who don't give a damn about me or doing it. So we'll chat about that afterwards.
That is a conversation we'll definitely have.
Love it.